all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning and thanks for listening in. This is the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint and I'm Alex Matthew. Today is the 8th of January. The Indian economy is expected to contract for the first time in about 40 years as a fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic and the consequent lockdown. Real GDP is estimated to contract by 7.7% in the current financial year, compared with a growth of 4.2% in FY20, according to the first advance estimates released by the Central Statistics Office yesterday ahead of the presentation of the Union Budget. India's annual GDP last contracted in FY80 by 5.24%, but this is the steepest contraction since independence. The COVID-19 pandemic that was the cause of the contraction of the Indian economy continues to pose a threat. Yesterday, for the first time in about 10 days, active cases rose, as more than 20,000 fresh cases were recorded in the 24 hours to 8 a.m. Internationally, while several countries are dealing with a more infectious second strain of the virus, China, which had seemed to have the pandemic under control, has once again locked down one of its cities. The city of 11 million people near China's capital was locked down after the emergence of some 200 virus cases, the worst outbreak in about 2 months in that country. In news back home, microfinance lenders have seen their asset quality worsen over the past year on lower repayment and collection levels during the pandemic. That's to be expected, but the extent is now becoming clear. The early delinquency rate, which is the portfolio that is 30 days past due, rose to 15.7% as of September, according to a report by credit information agency CRIF Highmark. That compares with 2.3% in the preceding quarter and 1.3% a year earlier. In the telecom space, Vodafone Idea has approached the Supreme Court seeking a modification in its verdict from last year that allowed telecom operators time to repay pending dues based on the new definition of adjusted gross revenue. This is just a day after its peer Bharti Airtel approached the apex court seeking a similar change in its dues. The Income Tax Department has conducted surveys on a subsidiary of e-commerce major Flipkart and food ordering firm Swiggy on charges of bogus input tax credit claims and tax evasion by some vendors linked to them. That's a PTI report quoting official sources. In international news, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer in the US have demanded that President Donald Trump's cabinet immediately remove him from office and threatened a new drive to impeach him if they don't act. They accuse Trump, who has prepared a sweeping list of individuals he's hoping to pardon in the final days of his administration, of inciting the mob that stormed the Capitol building and called him a continuing threat to democracy in his last days in the White House. Now, Elon Musk, the man behind Tesla and SpaceX, is now the richest person on the planet. A 4.8% rally in the electric car maker's share price yesterday propelled Musk past Amazon founder Jeff Bezos on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Musk's fortunes have risen in line with the rise of the price of Tesla, whose market cap earlier this week breached $700 billion. In other news, the Bitcoin's wild swings continued yesterday, with the cryptocurrency having breached the $40,000 mark. It has since cooled to just over $39,000 but has doubled in less than a month. The total market value of cryptocurrencies has now climbed above $1 trillion for the first time yesterday. US stocks rose, with the Nasdaq spiking over 2.5% as Joe Biden took the presidency. Market watchers believe that investors are pinning their hopes on more stimulus measures. The three early rises in the Asia-Pacific region have also started strongly positive. Now with that, it's over to Hormuz Fatakia for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning Hormuz, how are we looking to end the week?
Good morning to you, Alex, and to those tuning in as well. Well, we witnessed some typical weekly options expiry-related volatility on Thursday towards the final 30 minutes of the session as a cool-off in banking stocks dragged the indices into negative territory for the second straight day. Now, this was the first instance since the 30th of October when both Sensex and Nifty have declined on 2 successive days. However, the broader markets continue to shine. The mid-cap index ended at a record high, while the small-cap index closed at the highest since the September of 2018. Now, early ticks on the SGX Nifty showed that the index traded with gains of 80 points around the mark of 14,300. Now, specific stocks, and I'll start with Biocon today. The company's subsidiary Biocon Biologics has received primary equity infusion of 555 crore rupees from Abu Dhabi-based ADQ. ADQ will invest the sum for a 1.8% stake in the company. The transaction values Biocon Biologics at a post-money valuation of $4.17 billion, which is higher than the previous investment made by Goldman Sachs, which had valued the company at $3.94 billion. Post this transaction, Biocon will hold 89.9% stake in its subsidiary. The stock ended 1% lower on Thursday, declining for the second straight session. Tata Power says that it has taken over power distribution in western and southern Odisha from the 1st of January. The company has completed the acquisition of 51% stake each in TP Southern Odisha Distribution and TP Western Odisha Distribution for a consideration of 127.5 crore rupees and 255 crore rupees respectively. With this, the company has expanded its customer base to 9.5 million from the present 5.2 million across Mumbai, New Delhi, Central Odisha and Ajmer. Watch out for Bharat Rasayan in today's session. The company's board will meet on the 12th of January to consider a buyback of the company's equity shares. The stock hasn't had a very good run of late and has declined in 5 out of the last 6 trading sessions. Earnings season for the third quarter begins today. TCS will kickstart proceedings for the Nifty 50 companies, while hospital chain Shalby will be the first among the non-index names to report results for the October to December period. IDFC was a stock that was buzzing in Thursday's session, ending with gains of 12.5% and at the highest level since April 2019. The move was courtesy several large deals that took place on the stock. Out of the 5.2% stake sold by Sipadan Investments Mauritius, Morgan Stanley has acquired 0.8% stake, while Sunil Singhania's Abacus Emerging Opportunities Fund acquired 0.6%. Aventus Absolute Return Fund has also acquired close to 1% stake in the company. Also buzzing was its twin IDFC First Bank, which gained the most since listing on Thursday, ending over 10.5% higher. The stock has been active since Wednesday afternoon, during which it reported its third quarter business update and has gained over 15% in the last 2 trading sessions. Some other buzzing stocks from Thursday's session. I had mentioned to you about Polycab a couple of days ago, saying that it was very close to an all-time high. The stock managed to close at a record high on Thursday, ending over 8.5% higher. The stock has now gained 24% in the last 4 trading sessions. And Shriram Transport Finance is the other stock I would want to mention. The stock gained 9% on Thursday, ending higher for the 11th straight day. This is its longest winning streak since January of 2017, during which it had gained for 12 straight sessions. As of closing on Thursday, the Sensex is up only 0.5% on a weekly basis, but a positive close today would mean a 10th straight weekly advance, which will be the longest winning run since June 2009. Whether that happens or not, we shall know at 3:30 p.m. Until then, that's all from me this week. I wish you all a happier weekend, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Hormuz, and as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a lovely Friday and an even better weekend.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.